Yes, I can help with Joshua Selman sermons. Apostle Joshua Selman is a Nigerian Christian minister, teacher, and founder of Monomania Eternity Network International. His sermons are widely known for their depth. Beloved, seasons do not change lives. Prepared people do. Time itself is neutral. A new year does not automatically bring new results. What determines outcomes is alignment, spiritual intelligence, and the mercy of God. As we stand at the threshold of 2026, it is dangerous to assume that things will work simply because the calendar has changed. You must engage the realm of the spirit intentionally. A new year does not automatically change a man's life. It only changes the date. Time is neutral. It rewards no one by default and punishes no one intentionally. What determines the quality of a man's experience in any season is not the calendar, but his level of spiritual preparation. Many people enter New Year's with excitement, expectations, and declarations, yet they repeat the same cycles of struggle because nothing within them has changed. When preparation is absent, a new season only exposes old weaknesses. Spiritual preparation is the process of aligning your spirit, your understanding, and your obedience with divine order before the demands of the season arrive. Life does not announce its tests ahead of time. Challenges appear suddenly, opportunities come unannounced, and decisions often demand immediate response. If a man is not prepared beforehand, he will respond from fear, ignorance, or emotion. This is why many people lose opportunities, not because they are unqualified, but because they are internally disorganized. Preparation gives you capacity. It ensures that when responsibility comes, it does not crush you. A new year carries fresh possibilities, but it also carries increased responsibility. Each season demands a certain level of wisdom, discipline, and spiritual stature. When you enter a season that your capacity cannot sustain, the blessing becomes a burden. This is why some people pray for increase, yet collapse when it comes. They were excited about the result, but ignored the process of becoming. Spiritual preparation is what stretches your capacity before promotion arrives. Without preparation, prayer becomes reactive instead of proactive. Many people only pray when trouble appears, but wise men pray before trouble finds them. Prayer is not just a tool for crisis management, it is a system for future security. When you pray ahead of time, you reduce unnecessary warfare. You may not eliminate challenges, but you gain authority over them. The future responds to those who confront it in prayer before it manifests physically. Another danger of entering a new year unprepared is repetition. Patterns repeat when lessons are not learned. If character is not developed, the same mistakes will wear different clothes. If discipline is not built, distractions will only change names. Preparation breaks cycles. It forces introspection, repentance, adjustment, and alignment. Until a man changes internally, no external change can permanently help him. Spiritual preparation also sharpens discernment. Every season introduces new voices, new opportunities, and new pressures. Not everything that looks good is God, and not every open door should be entered. When a man is spiritually dull, he mistakes speed for progress and activity for productivity. Preparation trains the spirit to recognize timing, to detect danger early, and to choose purpose over urgency. Many people assume that zeal is enough, but zeal without knowledge leads to destruction. Excitement can start a journey, but only preparation can sustain it. When enthusiasm fades, discipline must remain. Preparation builds that discipline. It establishes prayer as a lifestyle, not an emergency response. It anchors the heart so that when storms arise, the man stands firm rather than searching for quick solutions. Ultimately, preparation is an expression of honor toward God and toward destiny. It says you value what is coming enough to get ready for it. When a man prepares spiritually, heaven responds with clarity, strength, and grace. The future becomes less threatening because it has already been confronted in the secret place. A prepared man does not fear new seasons. He steps into them with quiet confidence, knowing that what lies ahead has already been settled in prayer. Mercy is the greatest gift a man can carry into a new season. Skill may open doors, wisdom may preserve progress, and discipline may sustain growth. But mercy is what keeps a man standing when all these fail. No one enters a new year with perfect accuracy. There are decisions made in ignorance, actions taken without full understanding, and omissions that silently work against destiny. Without mercy, the weight of past errors becomes too heavy for the future to bear. Many people assume that their biggest battles are ahead of them, but often the most dangerous issues are behind them. Unresolved mistakes, unrepented attitudes, broken covenants, and ignored instructions have a way of resurfacing. Justice has a memory. Mercy, however, overrides memory. It does not deny that an error occurred. It simply refuses to allow the error to have the final word. This is why mercy must go ahead of you. When mercy leads, judgment loses its authority. Entering a new season without securing mercy is like building on a cracked foundation. You may rise for a while, but collapse is inevitable. Mercy is what repairs the unseen cracks in a man's life. It restores alignment where compromise has quietly crept in. Many failures that appear sudden are actually the result of long-standing spiritual negligence. Mercy interrupts consequences that are already in motion. Mercy also deals with inherited patterns. Some struggles did not begin with you, yet they seek expression through you. Family limitations, repeated losses, stagnation at certain levels, and unexplained resistance often have spiritual roots beyond personal effort. Skill cannot solve them. Hard work cannot silence them. Only mercy can rewrite spiritual narratives. When mercy speaks, patterns lose their legal ground. Another power of mercy is preservation. Many people are alive today not because they were careful, but because mercy stood in the way of destruction. There are accidents you escaped, decisions that should have ruined you, and moments where death came close and retreated. Mercy was responsible. As you approach a new season, asking for mercy is an acknowledgement that survival is not guaranteed by intelligence alone. Life is fragile and destiny is delicate. Mercy also restores sensitivity. Sin and repeated compromise dull the conscience. A man can be active spiritually yet disconnected internally. Mercy revives the heart. It realigns desires, cleanses motives, and renews hunger for righteousness. Without mercy, prayer becomes mechanical and worship becomes routine. Mercy brings life back into spiritual disciplines. Some people fear asking for mercy because they associate it with weakness. In truth, humility is strength. Pride attracts resistance. Humility attracts help. When a man genuinely seeks mercy, he creates room for divine intervention. Heaven responds swiftly to brokenness because brokenness admits need. The moment a man stops depending on mercy is the moment he becomes vulnerable to pride-induced failure. Mercy also grants time. Many people should have lost opportunities permanently, but mercy extended seasons. Delays are sometimes not punishments. They are mercies buying time for alignment. God often withholds certain blessings, not because he is unwilling, but because mercy is preventing destruction. What arrives before preparation destroys faster than it blesses. As you step into a new year, carrying mercy means you are not pretending to be flawless. It means you are trusting God to go ahead of you, correcting what you cannot see, fixing what you cannot repair, and covering what you cannot defend. Mercy makes the future safer, lighter, and more hopeful. When mercy speaks, destiny breathes again, and the journey ahead becomes possible. Direction is one of the greatest gifts a man can receive, because effort without direction is not progress, it is exhaustion. Many people are sincere, prayerful, and hardworking, yet their lives do not reflect growth because their energy is scattered. Being busy is not the same as being productive. Without clarity, a man can run very fast and still arrive nowhere. Direction determines whether movement leads to destiny or to frustration. Confusion is costly. It wastes time, drains strength, and creates unnecessary battles. When a man does not know what to pursue, every option becomes a distraction. He starts many things but finishes none. He responds to pressure instead of purpose. Direction brings order to life. It helps you know what to say yes to, and more importantly, what to say no to. Not every opportunity is an assignment, and not every open door is a divine instruction. Clarity also protects a man from comparison. When direction is absent, people measure success by what others are doing. This leads to unhealthy competition and premature decisions. A man who knows his path does not rush because someone else is running. He understands timing. He recognizes seasons. He is not intimidated by another person's progress because he is secure in his own assignment. Divine direction saves a man from costly mistakes. Many errors are not the result of rebellion, but of ignorance. Decisions made without light often carry long-term consequences. Direction illuminates the future enough to make wise choices in the present. It may not reveal everything, but it reveals what is necessary for obedience. Light reduces regret. Another power of direction is focus. Focus multiplies impact. When a man concentrates his time, energy, and resources on a defined path, progress becomes measurable. Distraction, however, dilutes results. Direction gathers a man's strength into one channel. This is why people with clarity achieve more with less effort. They are not everywhere, they are intentional. Direction also sustains endurance. Many people quit, not because the journey is difficult, but because they are unsure of the destination. When purpose is clear, pain becomes bearable. A man who knows why he is doing something can endure what others abandon. Direction gives meaning to sacrifice. It turns suffering into investment rather than punishment. Without direction, prayer becomes vague. People pray for general blessings instead of specific outcomes. Clarity sharpens prayer. When you know what God wants you to do, your prayer life becomes targeted. You stop praying from anxiety and start praying from alignment. Heaven responds more easily to prayers that are rooted in divine intention. Direction is also progressive. God often reveals it in stages. Waiting for complete clarity before moving often leads to stagnation. Obedience to the light you have invites more light. Many people are stuck, not because God is silent, but because they have ignored previous instructions. Direction flows to those who honor it. In a new season, the greatest prayer is not for speed or success, but for light. It is better to arrive late in the right place than early in the wrong one. When direction is secured, peace follows, anxiety reduces, confidence increases, and decisions become simpler. A directed life may not be the easiest, but it is the safest. When a man walks in clarity, even opposition becomes part of the process, and the future unfolds with purpose rather than confusion. Key point number 40, expend it in 600 words without heading spiritual sensitivity is the ability to perceive what is happening beyond the physical realm and to respond accurately to it. Life is not controlled only by what is seen. Unseen forces shape visible outcomes. Many people fail, not because they lack effort or intelligence, But because they are unaware of what is happening in the spirit, when sensitivity is lost, danger does not announce itself until damage is done. One of the greatest threats to destiny is spiritual dullness. A dull spirit cannot discern timing, cannot detect deception, and cannot sense shifts. Such a person may still be active, praying, working and planning, yet disconnected from divine signals. Spiritual sensitivity keeps a man alert. It helps him recognize when to move, when to wait, and when to withdraw. Without it, even good intentions can lead to disastrous results. Sensitivity protects a man from subtle attacks. The enemy rarely confronts directly. He prefers distractions, emotional manipulation, and gradual compromise. Small decisions that seem harmless begin to erode character and discipline. A sensitive spirit feels discomfort early. It recognizes when something is wrong even before evidence appears. This early warning system is what preserves destiny over time. Another dimension of spiritual sensitivity is the ability to hear God clearly. Hearing God is not limited to audible instructions. It includes inner witness, conviction, peace, and restraint. Many people make decisions and then ask God to bless them. Sensitivity reverses that order. It waits for divine approval before action. When hearing is clear, mistakes reduce and progress becomes steady. Spiritual sensitivity also governs relationships. Not everyone who smiles is safe, and not everyone who corrects you is an enemy. A sensitive spirit discerns intentions, not just words. Many destinies have been delayed or destroyed through wrong associations that were embraced emotionally rather than discerned spiritually. Sensitivity helps you recognize helpers, avoid destiny drainers, and respond wisely to people. Another benefit of sensitivity is alignment with timing. There are seasons when silence is wisdom and seasons when boldness is required. Doing the right thing at the wrong time can be as damaging as doing the wrong thing. Spiritual sensitivity helps you sense seasons. It prevents premature exposure and delayed obedience. Timing often determines the difference between success and failure. Spiritual sensitivity must be protected because it can be lost. Constant noise, unguarded emotions, sin, pride, and overfamiliarity with spiritual things can dull the heart. When a man ignores repeated warnings, the voice grows faint. Sensitivity thrives in an environment of humility, prayer, and obedience. The more a man honors divine promptings, the clearer they become. Many people desire miracles but neglect sensitivity. Yet miracles are often accessed through obedience to small instructions. A sensitive spirit values prompt obedience. It does not wait for convenience. It understands that delay can be disobedience in disguise. When sensitivity is sharp, obedience becomes swift and natural. As you enter a new season, spiritual sensitivity is not a luxury, it is a necessity. The higher you go, the more complex decisions become. Strength without sensitivity leads to accidents. Knowledge without sensitivity leads to pride. Activity without sensitivity leads to burnout. But when sensitivity is preserved, guidance becomes consistent, danger is avoided, and destiny unfolds with divine precision. No destiny is designed to be fulfilled in isolation. God's system for lifting men is built around relationships and divine connections. While personal discipline, prayer, and diligence are vital, there are levels of progress that cannot be accessed alone. Every great journey requires helpers, mentors, partners, and voices of correction. When relationships are misaligned, destiny becomes unnecessarily difficult. No matter how gifted a person is, relationships can either accelerate purpose or sabotage it. This is why alignment matters more than popularity. Not everyone who likes you is assigned to your future, and not everyone who challenges you is against you. Wrong relationships drain virtue, weaken focus, and introduce confusion. They subtly shift priorities and normalize compromise. Many people lose speed in destiny, not through open sin, but through constant exposure to wrong influences. Divine alignment begins with understanding that relationships are spiritual instruments. God uses people as channels of instruction, favor, and access. At the same time, the enemy also uses people to distract, delay, and derail. Discernment is therefore essential. Emotional attachment without spiritual discernment often leads to costly mistakes. When alignment is right, peace accompanies the relationship. When it is wrong, confusion and compromise follow. Another power of right relationships is accountability. Destiny thrives where accountability exists. People who walk alone often become their own reference point, and this leads to error. A correctly aligned relationship provides correction without competition and guidance without control. Such relationships help refine character, not just skill. Many people pray for promotion but resist correction, not realizing that correction is often the pathway to elevation. Divine relationships also carry information. There are things you will never learn in isolation. Wisdom is transferred through proximity. Exposure to the right voices shortens learning curves and prevents avoidable mistakes. When God wants to shift a man's level, He often introduces a person carrying insight for the next phase. Ignoring such relationships can delay progress for years. Equally important is the grace to disengage from wrong relationships. Disconnection is as spiritual as connection. Some people are seasonal, others are distractions. Holding on to expired relationships out of loyalty or fear can limit growth. God sometimes removes people not to punish you, but to protect what He is building in you. Release is often a sign of maturity. Right alignment also affects access. Many doors open through relationships rather than effort. Recommendations, opportunities, and platforms are often the result of trust built through connection. Favor flows more easily where alignment exists. This does not mean manipulation or networking without integrity. It means honoring God's process of connection. Another dimension of divine alignment is unity of purpose. When relationships are aligned, vision is strengthened, not confused. There is clarity, mutual respect, and shared values. Such unity multiplies impact. Where alignment is absent, friction increases, and energy is wasted managing conflict instead of pursuing purpose. As you step into a new season, praying for divine alignment is essential. Ask for the wisdom to recognize helpers, the humility to receive correction, and the courage to let go where necessary. Destiny moves faster when the right people walk with you. When alignment is secured, strength is multiplied, burdens are reduced, and progress becomes sustainable. Favor is the invisible force that causes a man to receive help he did not labor for and access he could not have earned by effort alone. Hard work is important, discipline is necessary, and excellence is required. But without favor, a man can do everything right and still struggle. Favor does not replace labor, it crowns it. It is the difference between effort that barely survives and effort that produces ease. Many people are exhausted, not because they are lazy, but because they are operating without favor. When favor is absent, progress becomes slow and resistance increases. The same qualification that opens doors for one person becomes ignored in the hands of another. Favor explains why two people can apply the same effort and receive completely different outcomes. It is not unfairness, it is spiritual advantage. Favor causes recognition. In a world full of talent, being seen matters. Many gifted people remain hidden, not because they lack ability, but because visibility has not been granted. Favor brings remembrance. It causes your name to come up in rooms you have never entered. It positions you in the thoughts of decision make us without your presence. This is not manipulation. It is divine orchestration. Another dimension of favor is acceptance. There are environments where skill alone is not enough. Favor causes people to like you beyond reason. It gives your voice weight and your presence influence. When favor rests upon a man, his mistakes are corrected gently, while others are judged harshly for the same errors. This does not encourage carelessness. It encourages humility and gratitude. Favor also accelerates progress. What would normally take years is compressed into months. Delays are reduced, processes are simplified, and obstacles are removed. This does not mean challenges disappear, but they lose their power to stop movement. Favor turns resistance into cooperation. It aligns people and circumstances in your favor without stress. Many people misunderstand favor and think it can be forced. Favor cannot be manipulated. It must be received. It responds to alignment, humility, obedience, and mercy. Pride repels favor because it competes with God's glory. Favor rests where dependence on God is evident. This is why prayer is essential. Favor is activated in the place of intimacy, not arrogance. Favor also preserves a man in hostile environments. There are seasons when you are surrounded by competition, envy, and opposition. Favor acts as a shield. It distinguishes you without provoking unnecessary conflict. It causes you to succeed quietly where others struggle loudly. Preservation is one of the silent benefits of favor. Another power of favor is restoration. Some people have lost time, opportunities, and reputation due to mistakes or circumstances beyond their control. Favor has the ability to restore what was lost. It can rewrite narratives and give second chances. Where merit says no, favor says try again. As you approach a new season, praying for favor is not a selfish request, it is wisdom. Favor reduces stress, protects effort, and amplifies results. When favor goes ahead of you, doors open with ease, help arrives on time, and progress becomes sustainable. A man walking in favor does not boast, he gives thanks, knowing that what he enjoys is not by power, nor by might, but by divine grace. Key point number 7, where you expend it in 600 words, without he, alignment with God's will, is the safest position any man can occupy. It is possible to be gifted, hardworking, and sincere, yet misaligned. When alignment is missing, effort increases, but results diminish. The will of God is not just about morality. It is about direction, timing, and purpose. A man may be doing something good, but if it is not what God has assigned for that season, frustration is inevitable. Many people assume that God's will is mysterious and difficult to know, but in reality, it is revealed progressively to those who seek it sincerely. Alignment begins with surrender. As long as personal ambition competes with divine intention, clarity remains blurred. When a man yields his desires, plans, and timelines to God, he begins to see more clearly. Alignment is less about force and more about submission. Being aligned with God's will does not mean the absence of challenges. In fact, resistance often increases when alignment is correct because purpose attracts opposition. However, the difference is that grace accompanies obedience. When a man is in God's will, even his struggles produce growth rather than destruction. Pain becomes purposeful, and delays become preparation instead of disappointment. Misalignment is dangerous because it creates unnecessary warfare. Many battles people fight are not attacks, they are corrections. When a man insists on a path God has not approved, resistance rises as a signal, not as punishment. Ignoring that signal leads to exhaustion and discouragement. Alignment brings rest, not because work disappears, but because effort is supported by grace. Another sign of alignment is peace. Peace does not mean everything is perfect, but it means the heart is settled. When decisions are made in God's will, there is an inner assurance that sustains obedience even when results are delayed. This peace guards the heart from anxiety and impulsive reactions. It anchors the soul during uncertainty. Alignment also brings accuracy. A man in God's will speaks accurately, chooses wisely, and responds appropriately. He is less reactive and more intentional. His priorities become clearer, and distractions lose their appeal. This accuracy saves time and protects relationships. Many conflicts arise not from malice, but from misalignment. Being aligned with God's will positions a man for long-term relevance. Success outside God's will may be loud, but it is often short-lived. Alignment builds endurance. It ensures that growth is sustainable and influence is preserved. God does not just want to elevate. He wants to keep elevated men standing. Another power of alignment is fruitfulness. When a man operates within God's agenda, his efforts multiply. Impact increases, not just in quantity, but in quality. Lives are touched, systems are influenced, and legacy is built. Alignment shifts focus from self-promotion to